ومن اتبع هداه أما بعد. So my brothers, today inshallah ta'ala we'll be starting a new class which is thus Al-Hadi Ashar, lesson 11. And in this class we have a couple of new concepts being added, apart from the fact that it's the first time you are seeing a text presented in the way that it is, like, for example, like almost like a story, a group of sentences following, whereas all the previous lessons we had dialogues and conversations between people, between teachers and students, and questions and answers. And now this is the first time we have this new style of writing, and inshallah this is something which will introduce you also to be able to write like this. Now some of the things that are being introduced in this class are a reiteration of the dama'ir, of the pronouns that we just picked up in the previous class of Dars al-Ashir. And here it's looking at the dama'ir again, but how they can be used in a different way. We'll look at that in a moment, inshallah. I'm going to take the whiteboard for a second so I can explain a couple of things. Here's the whiteboard, make my pen. Let's take a nice bright color. What we can say is every what we can say is that the Arabic language, اللغة العربية, this is not going to work, it's not very good, this writing with it. The best thing is probably to type. Is the eraser gone? Or undoing is better. Jayed. Let's go for this type. Where is it? We'll say that اللغة العربية can be distributed or comprises of three things. اسم وفعل this thing keeps resetting to English each time. I'll change it. جيد. اسم, I wish we could format this thing better. Get rid of that box, for example. We don't need all this extra space. اسم وفعل وحرف. اسم وفعل وحرف. جيد. That's better. So the Arabic language, my brothers, it comprises of this. Is that clear so far, inshallah? Jayyid. Ism refers, my brothers, it refers to now you're just testing, ain't listening. So you're there, alhamdulillah. I was saying that look at the way that this writing comes up, and it'd be nice if we could get rid of these boxes and be able to format this screen better and easier. No problem, alhamdulillah, I managed to overcome it. Just practice, I suppose, and preparation, I thought. This is good, you see? Able to do it like this. Alright. Ism, ya ikhwa, it refers to everything, every noun, everything that you can see and touch, every object, even that you can't touch, like the air, for example, abstract objects. So abstract things, bottle, glass, cow, table, iron, hand, eye, phone, chair, school, teacher, imam. All of these are under the banner, under the category of ismun. Okay, ism. Harf, my brothers, is talking about, these are those small letters, the small indicators that give some direction to the nouns. Usually, for example, huruf al-jar that we studied already, fi, ala, min, ila, and other words like tahta, and the opposite of tahta, which is fawqa. And there were other words that we studied from that same group. Words like, let me write them down over here. So we had words like tahta, and we had the opposite, which was, what was it, brothers? Gotta be quick. Fawqa. Like besides. With. And although these words may not necessarily be huruf al-jar, but they all behave like huruf al-jar. Those ones, the example you're giving, ala, those are huruf al-jar. Okay, that's harf al-jar. It means on top of or above. But these ones over here, they give direction, and technically they're not huruf al-jar, but the word that comes after it is a noun, ism, and it's also majroor. Jayyid. And these words, we haven't actually said the official name of it yet, but these names are called dhuruf. Okay, so dharf, the singular is dharf. Dha. So here, I remember that Muslim, it came up recently, didn't it? Some weeks ago we had this discussion where all of the huruf are huruf al-jar. And that's not necessarily the case, because you have some huruf which are the purpose of the harf is to ask a question, which is known as harf istifham, hal and a, the alif. Yeah? And you have others which are in order for emphasis, which is the lam, for example. Yeah? And which enters upon on the verbs. أقتلنك ayah in the Quran, where one of the two sons of Adam alayhi salam said to his brother, La أقتلنك. That lam over here is lam al-ta'keed. Lam al-ta'keed, lam of emphasis. It's a harf. And the noon at the end, with a shadda on it, is noon al-tawkeed. So these are different huruf and different examples. And we have some of them which give the meaning of direction or preposition. Jayyid? Those ones, they are the ones that cause the word after it to be majroor. Jayyid? Though the ones that you have on the screen now, tahta, fawqa, inda, ma'a, these are called singular dharf, plural, dhuruf. Plural, dhuruf. Let me type it over here. Jayyid. And dhurufun. These are dhurufun. And other examples of dhuruf are in front of and behind. So for example, where is it gone? For example, now, did someone type something? Almost? Oh, I see. I've worked out now. Whenever you guys are typing something over there, then my cursor over here disappears. Now that's what's happening. That's why I'm getting confused. I'm losing my cursor. Sahih, Elma. Barakallah fiqh. Amama. Alif, which has a fatha on top of it. Are you? And that has a fatha. And then meme, alif. And then meme. With a fatha. Amama. Which means in front of. And the opposite is khalfa. Khalfa, which means behind. So we've learned most of these words already. Today we're going to be having a look at the word amama, which means in front of. So in front of. These are some examples of huruf. Huruf. These are some examples of huruf. Okay. And then you have the fi'l. And the fi'l, ya ikhwa, you see, these are the verbs. These are the verbs. These are the actions. So, for example, what things does a person do generally in his life? You can do so many things. Everything you're doing is an action. You read, write, look, think, sit, walk, talk. Run out of verbs. But yes, so many verbs. Drive, look. Okay. So all of those actions, the verbs, they are known as the af'al. That's the plural, singular, fi'lun. And those go into three groups. Can anyone guess what those are? Or maybe you know them without having to guess. صحيح. بارك الله فيك. Past, present, ماضي, مضارع and أمر. صحيح. Because the present tense actually contains the meaning of the future. So that's why we say فعل ماضي. طيب. فعل ماضي. Where's it gone? I thought I was typing. Aha. فعل ماضي. And then you also have فعل مضارع, as you said rightly so. Which refers to the present tense. جيد. And then you have this one, which is the command, فعل الأمر, the imperative form. Do this, don't do that, drink, sit, stand, look. Or could be in a polite way. Or it could be, requesting. It could be making a dua. Irham. Ya Rabbi, irhamni. Ighfirli. Taqabbal minni. All these examples of fi'l amr. Now this introduction is important because now we're actually getting into the language in a bigger way. And the relevance is going to come clearer now to each of these aspects of the language. Okay, today I'm going to focus on this thing of the fi'l. Okay, we're going to talk now about the fi'l. Let's move a bit further down. And let's just talk now about the fi'l, okay? No, I don't actually want this. No. Hey, let's talk now about the fi'l, brothers, the verb. What does every action require? Every action requires somebody who did the action. Every action requires somebody or something who did the action. Who that verb, the action, is related to. Let's have a look. The Dhamma'ir, Habibi, Alma, Jazakallah, I think you're asking a question. Where does the Dhamir come in? The Dhamir comes in the Asma. The Dhamma'ir are all right, they're nouns. And even though the detailed introduction to something which I'm giving to you guys now is actually, it comes at the end of book 2, at the beginning of book 3. But I think just to get an overview of how the Arabic language works, it will help us understand Ad-Dars al-Hadi Ashar. Okay? So far, we have studied that words can have a Dhamma at their end. And we have studied that words can have a Kasra at their end. And we know why. We know that in noun, if there's no Alif or Lam, it's going to take 2 Dhammas. If there's Alif or Lam, it's going to take 1 Dhamma. We learned that if Harf al-Jar comes before it, or if a Dharf If a dharf comes before it, it's going to take a kasra. One, if there's alif or lam, or if it's mudaf, and two, if there's no alif or lam. Jayyid, that's what we learned so far. Today in Dars al-Hadi Ashar, you're going to be introduced to words ending with fatha. Jayyid. And this is the first time that words ending with fatha are appearing. Hope I'm right. Jayyid. Sahih. No, I'm right. Sahih. Is there. Is there in Dars al-Hadi Ashar. Ya Akhi al-Kareem. Wa ikhwah. Wa akhawat. Where are we now? I said that every verb, it requires somebody or something to do the action. So the person who did the action itself is called, what do we call the action itself? Can anyone remember? The actual action itself is called you gotta give me the first letter. You can beat me to it. It's called the fi'l. Fi'lun. طيب. Now you need someone or something who did the fi'l. So you need to, every fi'l will have with it someone who did the action. And the person who did the action, I think that the action is called the fa'il. Fa'il. Kasra on the ain. Fa'ilun. Fi'lun wa fa'ilun. Jayyid. So the fi'l is the verb itself, and the fa'il is the one who did the action. Did you know, my brothers, that the fa'il is recognized as the fa'il because that fa'il, that doer of the action, is represented by a dhamma at the end of that word. So let's have an example now. See if I can write. There you go. Kataba. This is a fi'l. This is a fi'l. Al-mudarrisu. When you saw a dhamma on the end of al-mudarrisu, then immediately you knew that al-mudarrisu, because of this dhamma, it shows that this is a fa'il. The fa'il of this fi'l. Because of the dhamma, you knew that this is the person who did the action. That's the fa'il. And there's a significance of this, and the significance is to differentiate between the one who did the action and and the result of the person's action. Okay? And the result of the person's action. Let's have another example of fi'l and fa'il. Sometimes you will see it written like this: Kataba المدرس. كتب المدرس. جيد. And for those of you who may listen to this lesson after, you may be advanced listeners. You may have taken book 2, book 3 or other books already and studied and understood. I'm only talking right now in Madeenah book 1 terms. What I mean to say is in the beginner's mind, to place things easy, although we know technically that mudarris comes after the verb is not actually going to be called the fa'il technically, because the fa'il is dhamir mustatir ila akhirih. Those concepts, there's no point bringing those things up now, because that will nothing but confuse the mind of the new learner. If you're coming in after and listening to this as a recording or as a video, and then you may start questioning what you learnt in further advanced lessons, then no, I'm sure what you learn is correct. But just bear with me and understand that I'm just trying to lay it down in the most simplest form, so that the building blocks are formed, showing that in fi'l and fa'il, and that ruling of the fa'il is that he has a dhamma on his end, at the end of that word. Is that clear, ikhwah? Tayyib. One formation of seeing fi'l and fa'il is having this noun after the verb with a dhamma on the end of it. كتب المدرس. Another way you might see it is we get the same color. المدرس كتب. Now you might say this is the same thing, and yeah, it almost is the same thing. At least the meaning is the same. Here we have again an example of fi'l, which is kataba, and fa'il, which is al-mudarrisu. Al-mudarrisu, afwan, the arrow shouldn't be that, the arrow should go to al-mudarrisu. Because of that dhamma, it's showing us it is the fa'il of this verb of kataba. Is that clear, my brother, so far? Or is the introduction, hopefully the introduction not leaving anyone behind? Because it is still an introduction, and I know we're going on, but even if we don't touch Dars al-Hadi Ashar by textually, at least we will touch it in principle. طيب? خير, alhamdulillah. So, kataba al-mudarris. I'm sorry about this, these noises. We'll try to get rid of them. Another way of knowing the fa'il is just by recognizing it this way. Let's use the same let's use a verb that we already had in previous classes, which was kharaja. Kharaja. Sometimes in Arabic you can just say one word like this, kharaja. This is the verb. Okay. Well, you might stop someone and say, look, my teacher told me that in Arabic, everything has to have, every verb has to have a fa'il. Every fi'l needs a fa'il. You can't just tell me kharaja and walk away. You have to actually give me the fa'il as well. The Arab will say to you, I gave you the fa'il. I said to you, kharaja. So you'll say, what are you talking about? This is verb, this is the fi'l. And the answer is to this is what he's saying is correct. That the fa'il is embedded, the fa'il is embedded inside kharaja. It's embedded inside kharaja. Okay? And it's being referred to as huwa. Huwa. He. Huwa. It's a damir, as Alma said earlier, which is the pronoun. Damir, which means he. He left. Kharaja. Man kharaja? Huwa. Brothers, this verb here, kharaja, is left alone without any mention of explicitly who left. Then the Arabic language is powerful enough to allow us to assume. I'm going to draw with a grey color here. Okay, I'm going to draw the grey color here. It's allowing us to assume huwa. Man kharaja? Huwa kharaja. So where's the fi'l? It's in front of you, kharaja. Where's the fa'il? It's which is hidden. What's the word for hidden? Mustatirun. So this is damir mustatir. Damir mustatir. Say it please. Damir mustatirun. Damir mustatirun. Or mustatir. Stop at the ra without the un. Damir. That means the hidden damir. And that hidden damir is there in actual fact when a sentence begins with a verb, or the verb like that is just left alone. Shahid? Now these I think are some of the examples of the fa'il and recognizing the fa'il. Jayid. Interestingly, the three verbs that I gave you guys today, kataba in the first example, and kataba in the second example, and kharaja in the third example, all of them finish with fatha. They all have three letters and finish with fatha, and that is because these words are madi. Look at the go back up to the top. We said that the af'al, the fi'l is fi'l madi, fi'l mudari, and fi'l amr. Fi'l madi, sorry, all of them, they look similar to this, although most of the verbs only have three letters, and what you have to busy yourself with three letters is enough for you to get on with. When you get to Madeenah book 2 or 3, inshallah, you have verbs which increase more than three letters. No problem, you have enough to swim in, enough verbs to deal with for the time being. Verbs which are fi'l madi, they finish with a fatha. Okay? And if there are any exceptions to this, we'll be learning them later on, inshallah. If I'm not mistaken, you may have actually taken an example of that, and I explained it to you a couple of lessons ago. Or was it one of the parts of the Dars al-Ashir? I'm just flicking my pages. It says over here, Sahih, there it is, a Dars al-Ashir, where Muhammad says, the teacher is asking, or Muhammad is asking Muhammad about his where's your mother, where's your father, أين هو في الكويت، أبي في الكويت وهو طبيب شهير، وأين أمك، هي أيضا في الكويت مع أبي، هي مدرسة هناك. Then he said, أذهبت إلى الكويت يا محمد، أذهبت إلى الكويت يا محمد. Have you been to Kuwait? Did you go to Kuwait? He said, نعم ذهبت. نعم ذهبت. And we spent one lesson, I remember, I think it was part 2 or part 3 of Ad-Dars al-Ashir, speaking about the issue of these verbs, adding that ta at the end of it. Ta and tu. The fatha on the ta and the dhamma on the ta, adding it and what it actually means. And how this fatha, which is the main ending of a fi'l madi, changes to a sukoon when you add that ta to it. Katab tu, katab tu, katab ta, kharaj tu, kharaj ta. That jeen becomes sukoon. So fi'l madi, generally speaking, it finishes with a fatha unless there is this added letter to it. It finishes with a, because that's still the ending of the verb. That's there, that's the fa'il. And so sometimes it ends with a sukoon. It ends with a sukoon when the fa'il is in the form of a dhamir pronoun and joint on to the verb. I hope I haven't overloaded you brothers today with a lot of technical lot of talk. But I'm hoping that inshallah ta'ala we'll be able to listen to this again and to be able to absorb it and understand it. Because if you are able to get this right, then alhamdulillah, you guys have come a long way from where we were, mashallah, when we were doing هذا بيت وهذا مكتب. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, we have come a long way, alhamdulillah. And so but this is the beginnings, and I told you there are different points of this book, which is the start of a new beginning. And also the Rabit taqriban is the start of a new beginning, and then Ashir becomes the start of a new beginning, and then this one as well. Now it's just, deeper and deeper, alhamdulillah, more and more, but everything builds on the stuff that you learned previously. So you have to keep on revising the previous stuff and never find yourself in a situation where you say, oh, I studied book 1 but I can't remember it. Can we do book 1 again, please, somebody? No, you need to build on what you have and keep moving forward. Just revise it yourself. You've understood the concepts and keep going forward. Because all of those rules that you learned in book 1, they come again. They repeat themselves over and over again. They keep on repeating themselves. So just by moving forward, you're actually reinforcing what you already know. So no longer this need for, I did book 1, but I think I need to do it again. No need. Go to book 2. You will find all of book 1 embedded in book 2. Okay, in the form of the rules. And the teacher, inshallah, who knows, who has taught book 1 will be able to identify those book 1 rules with you as you are going through. I think I've done enough talking for today, and we've got to a good point where we've identified the fi'l and the fa'il, what it might look like, and we've broken down the language, generally what it generally looks. And next class, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to be continuing with this introduction. It'd be nice if we have this very same image available on the board next time. I don't know if that's possible. And then we will be able to add something which is known as maf'ulun bihi, which is the addition, which goes over here, which is the addition. The thing over here, which is the addition, which is called maf'ulun bihi. And guys, I wrote it just so that, for the record, at least we said it, and I'm not going to explain anything about it now, inshallah. Next class, we start to talk about maf'ulun bihi and that part which we didn't speak about today. طيب يا أخوة، جزاكم الله خيرا. الله أعلم، وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله فيك أخي ميمونة. I saw you typing, so I'll just wait for you to finish so I can leave. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.